Well, the second Republican to enter the race for president could be the most unconventional candidate the party has seen in quite some time. Senator Rand Paul, a staunch libertarian, announced his plans with a strong message for the Washington establishment. David Brody brings us that story from Louisville, Kentucky.
It had all the signs of a presidential campaign: American flags, the faithful dressing for success, and an anti-Washington message.
I have a message. A message that is loud and clear and does not mince words. We've come to take our country back. The Washington machine that gobbles up our freedoms and invades every nook and cranny of our lives must be stopped.
While Paul's message hit traditional party themes like IRS reform and a flat tax, he's positioning himself as a different kind of Republican. That means preaching a message covering the entire Bill of Rights. His appeal to millennials references the Fourth Amendment's call against unlawful government search and seizures. His plan to gain the trust of African Americans includes a bold discussion of the Fifth Amendment's call for due process under the law. This strategy adds up to building a coalition that Paul hopes will power him to the presidency. He has the support of former Congressman J.C. Watts.
The old traditional establishment guys hadn't necessarily gotten us there. So why do we do the same old thing the same old way?
While Rand Paul's libertarian-leaning message may indeed appeal to younger Americans, there's also a very important part of his overall strategy that should not be overlooked, and that is courting the all-important evangelical vote. For the last couple of years, he's built relationships behind the scenes with key evangelical political players. Just last week, CBN News captured Paul talking to pastors about matters of faith and politics.
We need a revival in the country. You know, we need another great awakening with tent revivals of thousands of people saying, you know, reform or you see what's going to happen if we don't reform.
When we visited the Paul family in their home 2 years ago, his wife Kelly was already trying to get her mind around a presidential run.
It's a contact sport. It's very rough, and you do have to put yourself out there. I think it's worth it in the end for all the opportunities and to make a difference, and I believe that Rand can make a difference.
His supporters here in Kentucky are convinced that Rand Paul is a difference maker and will shake up GOP politics.
He doesn't believe in nonviolent offenders, anyone really staying in prison, and it's time for prison reform. I think it's the one thing that'll really get young voters like myself to go out for it, but I think that his policies as a whole will make everyone come together.
In regards to help fix some of the conditions of the African American people, you know, education, employment, housing, and the biggest thing, felons' rights. So he's been talking the things that we wanted to hear. Now we're waiting for him to do it.
Rand Paul has his detractors too. Critics say he's too soft on foreign policy and asserting America's military might around the world. Just one hurdle that Paul is going to need to maneuver in his quest for the presidency. David Brody, CBN News in Louisville, Kentucky.